part of your work today on Delta Math. We're going to be talking about vertical angles, adjacent angles, and complementary angles. We'll just go through a couple of different examples and let you figure out how to do these. They're not that bad. This has been an example of what we call complementary angles. Complementary angles means you have two angles that when you add their degree values together, they equal 90 degrees. That's what this little box means. It means this equals 90 degrees. So if this whole angle is 90 and then this angle is 58 degrees, you got to think about, well, how would I find A? It's very simple. It's just 90 minus 58. So 90 minus 58 will give us 32 degrees. It's already got the degree symbol. You don't have to type degrees, just the number 32. Submit your answer, and that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. Remember, this box means the whole thing's 90, so 90 minus 58 will give us what's remaining. Now this says find the measure of the missing angles. This is kind of the new stuff we're going to get into. Now, for this example, you've got adjacent angles, or a linear pair, for 57 degrees and for B, and then 57 degrees also makes a linear pair with this other line with C. So what you're going to end up with is the entire line is 180 degrees. So to find out what B is, because B is the other part of this linear pair, you just take 180 and subtract 57. So 180 subtract 57 is going to be 123 is what you're going to be left with. It's very, very simple. Also, with C, you have the same thing. It's the other line, but it's the exact same math. This line makes 180 degrees. 180 degrees minus 57 degrees is 123 degrees. What this is setting us up for is to understand that B and C are going to be the same angle. Anytime you have intersecting lines, the angles across from each other are what we call a vertical pair, and those are going to be congruent to each other. It seems like I'm throwing a lot at you, but don't worry. This gets to where it's very simple and easy to understand, and that's what we're going to be doing over the next few days. So let me submit that. It's true. Now it's showing me this whole line is 180 degrees. 180 minus 57 gives us 123. Then it shows me the same thing for C. Only this time it shows you don't actually have to do the math again for C, because we know that this is 123, so the vertical angle across from it is also 123 degrees. So you might need to write some of this down. If not, you can just always play the video over. But we have 123 degrees here, so the vertical pair across from it is going to be exactly the same. If we were asked what this angle was, it would be 57. It's going to be the same as this angle, right across from each other. So they're vertical pairs, and they're going to be equal. Alright, we got another 90 degree. So what do we have to do? That's right. We subtract 44 from 90 degrees, and that's going to give us our remaining, which is A, and we're going to call that 46 degrees. Submit answer. It's correct. Let's get a new problem. All these are getting to where they're too easy. Let me type that in real quick. 90 minus 65 is going to give us 25 degrees. Remember, 90 degrees. That's 65 degrees, so I need the remaining. 90 minus 65 is 25 degrees. I know we got different types in here. Let me just go ahead and do a new problem. Let's do a new problem. We should have some that's not intersecting lines. Okay, there we go. So now we got another linear pair. This time it's not completely intersecting lines. It's just one line with an angle coming off of it. So these are adjacent angles, also known as a linear pair. But we've got 180 degrees along this line. 180 minus 21 degrees is going to give us our value for A. Because the whole thing is 180, this little small part of it is 21. We want to know what the rest of it is. So it should be 159 degrees. I'm going to submit the answer. It is, and it shows you the entire angle is 180. That part's 21, so the whole thing's 180. You guys subtract 21 to get to 159, and that's true. And we got another one here. Remember, the whole line's 180. This little part here is 29. So 180 minus 29 is going to give us 151 degrees. And again, like I said, it shows you 180, the whole thing. Y'all should not have too much trouble with this. I mean, you should be able to blow right through these. They're not that bad. But I do want you to understand by the end of this lesson that straight lines mean 180 degrees, and if there's a box there's 90. And to figure out what the difference is, you just do a subtraction and pop your answer in there. Gives it to you, shows it to you. Alright, one more with the vertical pair. Let's do C first, because C is identical to the angle across from it. I can go ahead and type 47 degrees in. I should know that automatically every time. I've got a vertical pair. These angles, we've got two lines that intersect each other. The angles created by those lines that are directly across from one another are a vertical pair. Beside it is an adjacent angle, which is a linear pair. They're supplementary, meaning they add up to 180. 180 minus 47 is going to give us 133 degrees. And it's going to show it vertical pair. And then it's going to show us for this part, for B, 180 for the whole thing. You're going to subtract 47 degrees, and you get 133 degrees. Should be pretty simple for you. Again, it's just practice to where you understand. It's just to drive the point home. Vertical angles are exactly the same. Supplementary angles, or these adjacent angles here, are going to add up to 180. And then you got the complementary angles that add up to 190. And they're pretty obvious if they got the box in there.